Okay, so let me explain to you the concept of a function, no max from min. Alright, so here, draw a function. So draw a vertical axis, draw a horizontal axis, and then specifically at some location, like over here, I'm gonna draw a hole. Okay, right there's a hole. So that means whatever the value of y is at that point, that value is not part of the range of the function. Like right here, that means on the y-axis you would also have a hole. Okay, so now even if you counted and made it somewhat reasonable, look very carefully, right? So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is 10. So based on this counting, this value here is like pretty much like y equals 11 in that position. Don't worry about the function, the rest of it. Just focus on what happens here. Imagine the function kind of continues down this way, okay? Because this is 10 and this is 11, and the 11 itself, as you can see, is not part of the range of the function. That means you can come up with all these intermediate values, right? Like 10 and 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, all the way up to here. But you got to stop at y equals 11 without ever reaching it. So in other words, it's like saying, what are some of these intermediate values? Maybe let's list a few of them if I can grab this. Okay, I got to make this a bit smaller so it fits better. Now look, it's like once you're very close to 11 but under it. Okay, so this could be like 10.9. I'm exaggerating a little bit, okay? This could be 10.99. You see this? 99. Okay, that there could be 10.999 right there. You see this? Okay, and then you go on and on and on. Again, do not just go though by what you see on the screen because it's not representative of what is really happening. What is really happening is that within this little range there are infinitely many numbers, which means you can get as close as you want to 11 without ever reaching it, right? Like over here, this could be 10.999999999. And guess what? If I could zoom in even more with my writing software here, then I could grab a value in that position that's even closer to 11, like this value, and that could be 10.99999 dot 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 9999. 10 with like a 10 million billion trillion nines after it, and even that doesn't really capture what's happening. Just keep that in mind, okay? In other words, for that reason, because it doesn't matter, right? Like whether you choose here, whether you choose this number here or you choose this number here, I can come along and always attach one more 9 to the end of your string of numbers. That means I can get as close to 11 as I want without ever reaching it. The conclusion, therefore, is something like this. No max y value. That's the conclusion. That's what happens when you have holes like this, okay? Okay, so I've zoomed out here a little bit. I'm going to kind of continue this function, right? Like down to say about this position right here. And again, notice something really important that what is essentially y equals positive 4. Now there's a hole here. Okay, you're coming down the graph this way. Okay, like this, right? You're coming down the graph this way. So now think about this for 1 second. It's like coming through like 6, 5, right, towards the positive 4. But the same principle applies, right? Since 4 is right here, you can never reach 4. However, what you can do is you can go through all the intermediate values like this, you see? Whatever they are, it doesn't matter. Anyways, choose one, 4.3. Right, this is like 4.1. And then you get ever closer to 4 without ever reaching it. Okay, so maybe it's like 4.00001. Okay? And if you say, well, that's it, that's the lowest I can go, no, because I could just zoom in ever more. Right? And keep in mind that like these things, they have thickness, right? Just keep that in mind. So thickness, so that we can see things, distorts our perspective of what the math is really telling you. That's really important to understand. Math is way deeper than what this seems to suggest. That's the point. Because in other words, look, if I took this, I could squeeze in another value there, and I could make that one 4.0000000000001. Forget it. That's not even representative of what's really happening, right? You can just keep approaching 4, get ever closer to it without ever reaching 4. In other words, the conclusion therefore would be something like this. Hopefully you can see it, okay? Let me make sure this is visible. Like, no min isn't a minimum value. I hope you really appreciate what this is telling you, okay? You can like really intuitively understand what this is telling you and what role the holes play in this kind of situation. Leave a like if it's helpful.